Going to be a lot less shotgun, a lot less RPO, and a whole bunch more run game and play action shots off the field. That's what Devon does best.
So the numbers from a week ago, 5 of 14. He struggled. He said, I know that I struggled. I have to do better here today. They start with a little swing pass. And not much there for Chris Brown.
I really enjoy watching Mike Safell, the center, right in the middle of the action. A rugby player uses his body really well. And Chris Brown, get ready to see him an awful lot tonight at running back. Going to catch it out of the backfield. I think he's going to carry it 20 to 25 times tonight. That would be in the best interest of the Bears.
2nd and 7, little high snap. Speaking of Brown, he gets the call here. He's a big back at 230 pounds. 6 yards brings up 3rd and 1.
And this Ducks defense, as I said in the open, is loaded. Jordan Scott right in the middle is difficult to move at 315 pounds. Dye behind him really plays off the double teams, plays really well laterally. And then in the secondary, Javon Holland's a name that college football is going to get used to knowing. 7 picks in 17 games. Really just a perfect fit as a nickelback in this defense.
Had that 7th pick in that win against Stanford. An early 3rd down. Opportunity here for Brown, and he's stuffed. Coming up, leading the way, it was a combination of Bryson Young and that man you mentioned, Jordan Scott.
Yeah, you just don't get any movement, and this is why the Ducks have been so good this season. Look at the point of attack right between the guards. Absolutely no movement off the ball, and that allows Young, really a special teams player for 3 years, to come in and clean it up. And big Jordan, there's a lot of stuff going on there with 34, but he's usually going in the right direction for Oregon.
And a punt here on 4th down, and punting into the wind. Wind could be a factor, but a good roll will take it all the way down to the 21-yard line. Chance to see Justin Herbert. Everybody around Eugene knows this guy.
Ball comes out awfully clean, a ton of experience. He came back to school for a couple reasons. I think number one, to get to a Rose Bowl.
1st down before he's tripped up by Jalen Hawkins.
4 seniors on this offensive line. Sewell's the best of them. He's just the sophomore, and you see a little bit of tempo by Oregon here as well.
They're going quickly indeed after the 11-yard pass up the middle in a big hole, and that's going to be a key. Can this Oregon run attack get on track?
If they create lanes like that, C.J. Verdell is going to have an awfully big night. Something he's not really had this season. Not off to the start that I think he or these Duck fans were seeking, but that's a good one right there.
Back to the ground and another good gain to midfield.
This Cal group does not play as many people as the Ducks do defensively. Luke Beckett's the best of the bunch, the senior. He tries to just allow that Evan Weaver guy to run sideline to sideline. 79 tackles already this season. And in the secondary, Mr. Bynum is going to be in a lot of one-on-one situations as they're going to have to overload that box tonight.
Right around the marker before Verdell is wrapped up. He'll be about a yard short.
The Ducks really are featuring this pistol offense this year, and at times, if defenses get after them, it's because it's a little bit slower developing, and you're seeing the edges, and the edges for the Bears tonight will be so critical in this matchup. If they don't win the edge, they've got no chance.
So Cal got stopped on a 3rd and 1. Now Oregon with 3rd down and 1. And they do not get stopped. Up the middle, Verdell, no problem. 1st down, Oregon.
Verdell runs hard. It was Verdell, in fact, and Dye last year, over 200 yards in this matchup combined.
Stepping up, Herbert, little pressure over the middle for Breland, the tight end, and there's a flag. It's going to be interference. Guess who it's on? The leader on that side, Evan Weaver.
Corner blitz here by Cal leaves the linebacker.
Defense number 89, 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
So the corner blitz comes from the short side. Weaver's left in a one-on-one with a very difficult, fast tight end. There's not face guarding in college football, but again, if you impede the receiver's opportunity to go get the ball, and Evan absolutely does, you're going to draw the 15.
Jacob Breland, he's come up big here for the Ducks this year at tight end. Draws the penalty there. Little reverse as they get it to Dawood Davis, and there's a flag on the backside. As Davis steps out shy of the 20.
Holding. Offense number 10, 10-yard penalty. Replay, 1st down.
Well, Justin Herbert's not used to that roll.
No, he's a big old dude at 6'6", 240, and you can see the little chuckle right there, the smile. This is trying to, against a fast flow defense, go across the field, but That's Cameron Good, the defensive end. That's an obvious hook right there. That's a pretty significant penalty when you look at the number of yards in the negative play that Cal defensively has to have. And Mario knows offensively to stay on schedule be best plan tonight.
So set him back to the 39. This is Travis Guy. Boy, the running lanes are open right now for the Ducks. That's a 19-yard carry to the 20.
Yeah, and this was the biggest fear for Wilcox and DeRuyter. Just watch the side over here. I mean, it just gets overwhelmed. When you get on Evan Weaver like that at the second level, the guys up front doing their job.
So only 61 rushing yards against Stanford, but they are moving it on the ground right here. And easily another first down. Of course, you mentioned that O-line. It's so powerful. The push that they're getting is pretty superb right now.
But this is the best they've been this month, and probably not surprising off a bye week. The head coach is a former lineman, and you could feel it yesterday saying, hey, we took that bye to get back to basics, get the legs underneath you, fire the hips, really concentrate, even with seniors up front, to get back to the fundamentals, and it's showing.
And now a carry left side down to the 10 goes the sophomore Verdell.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 3, 15-yard penalty, the down counts, second down.
Well, that's on the wide receiver, Johnny Johnson.
It's just a little bit of, I think, frustration here. It's always the second guy that's going to get called. You see a little bit of the action there with Hawkins, and that's obvious. Mario gave him a little talking to. I actually like that a lot more. I like when teammate accountability is going on. I think that is best case scenarios. You see Travis Dye getting in Johnson's face.
So a couple penalties on this drive. Now 2nd and 19. Herbert out of the gun. Plenty of time. Fires a fastball over the middle, and it's intercepted. First he's thrown this year. Ashton Davis picks it off for the Cal Bears. Justin Herbert, who came into the game with 174 passes without throwing an interception, gets picked off by the redshirt senior. So back to Monster and company. And he sails one out wide, intended for Jeremiah Hawkins. Let's go back to that interception.
Two things going on here. Okay, right at the snap, you're going to see a single safety, okay? And that means that Justin Herbert thinks he can fit that throw in. The problem is it needs to be thrown now. And I mean put on him. That is way too late, and it gives Ashton Davis, the senior safety, the opportunity to undercut that. Quarterbacks are always looking at safeties first, especially against this defense. So right read, it was just too late, and credit Davis with the pick.
His first of the season, 6th of his career. And flags fly before the snap.
False start, offense number 73, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Left guard, one of the young guns, Matthew Cindric, redshirt freshman.
Monster's got too strong an arm, and whether it's gripping it too tight, whether it's a little bit of anxiety, he's got to let it rip.
2nd and 15. This time they'll go with Brown and the big back. Getting it back to the original line of scrimmage, Nick Pickett.
Does not want to live in against a group who in this first half has been as dominant as anybody in college football.
3rd and 10. Monster lofts one up, intended for Jordan Duncan. And Duncan was able to haul that in. What a catch by the senior from Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
And that's on the best corner on this roster on Lenoir, even through a little bit of contact. And that is what Monster wants. And in fact, Bo Baldwin went back and watched some of his old starts and games when he was at UCLA. And that deep ball is exactly what number 6 feels comfortable throwing.
Flags here after the 36-yard gain.
Illegal substitution, defense, 12 players in formation, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And that deep ball is Monster's strength.
And after Oregon's 3rd penalty of the first quarter, it's 1st and 5. Not much there for Brown. So they talk, look, we changed quarterbacks, the system is the same, blah, blah, blah. But you're saying, look, there is a lot different.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, this RPO game, there's certain quarterbacks that like it, that grow up in it. Monster did not. So that run-pass option and getting the ball out of your hands super quick. Justin Wilcox was a quarterback in the state of Oregon before he came here. Bo Baldwin's had a number of different quarterbacks with all sorts of varying skill sets. And he's smart enough to know, I got to kind of move my scheme around to fit my quarterback more than anybody else.
Nothing on first down, so still 2nd and 5, a little high.
If you're going to come into this building, you'd sure like to hit this little slant route. Everything is set up for you. Yeah, there's a little contact, there's a little grab, but you're going to have to play through it.
And one of the big men, Michael Safel, the center, is down right now for the Bears. This time the ball stays upright. And it's returnable for Travis Dye. And Dye just gets tripped up after the 25-yard line. Time now for the look of confidence, powered by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
Well, it was looking the ball all the way in, catching just the very back end of it. And you're used to seeing wide receivers make that kind of play, but a 230-pound power running back shows you he's got the hands. Look at him securing it, just watching it all the way in through contact with the ground. That's the kind of work it takes if you're going to score on this defense. Again, the first pick for Herbert all season long, the first touchdown the Ducks have given up in the first half all year.
Cal coming in with some confidence. Verdell tripped up behind the line of scrimmage as we welcome back in Bruce Feldman.
Brandon, Gerald Alexander, the Cal secondary coach, spent a lot of time talking to his guys, and this is a very experienced secondary he has, but he said, listen, your eyes are in the wrong places. You guys are getting lost. You got to communicate better. They got bailed out by that Ashton Davis pick, but I think that's the thing they're trying to stress is you guys got to communicate better and see what you're seeing.
Second down at 8, Verdell. Another big hole and a first down carry out across the 40 before he's tackled by Coin Deng, the linebacker.
Yeah, and I think game as it is in the passing game. When you play this Oregon Duck defense or offense, they're going to stress you on the edges, and these defenders, these safeties got to come down and fill.
Here's another good carry on first down, give him 5 yards. Pistol look on 2nd and 5. And Herbert a little behind Jalen Redd, but he's able to haul it in and shoved out at the 50.
Take some of the burden off Justin Herbert and allow that just bazooka of an arm to take the shots down the field. But they're built to win this season, and they are built to win up front.
Brendan Schooler in motion. But up the middle, it's Travis Dye. By the way, I mentioned Schooler in motion. Oregon gets 3 wide receivers back. And arguably their top 3 wide receivers in Schooler, Micah Pittman, and Juwan Johnson.
And all guys that are going to just, I think, pay off that run game with their play-action game and ability to really stretch the field. Micah had such a tremendous camp before the shoulder injury. And Schooler, one of the fastest Duck receivers on the perimeter.
Boy, they had a lot of good things to say about Pittman, but right now it continues to be about grounding and pounding as that one is taken down to the 41-yard line.
Yeah, and I think one of the other keys when you're doing this is you're really attacking the thinnest group in depth of the Cal team. The Ducks will play upwards of 12 guys in their front line defensively. On that D-line, the Bears about 4, maybe 5. So over the course of a game, you want to, with your 4 seniors up front, your All-American candidate left tackle, run it right at them.
Straight up the middle against that front, slipping through to the 31-yard line goes Travis Dye.
To play off their D linemen, they got to do it with patience and trust and fill their responsibilities. And right now, the Ducks winning that battle.
Back to Verdell, and this time Cal's defense stands strong and drops him for a loss. Brett Johnson, Coin Deng.
Plays down the field, but these Bears know they're going to be in for it all night long. That run game is not going to stop.
So after a loss of 2, quick throw, getting it out to Jalen Redd. He can make people miss, can the junior from Carson, California.
See that dummy cadence declaring the backer is going to come here. Now let's see if Evan Weaver checks out of that pressure. Look, a good little game of back and forth.
Timeout before the snap.
Timeout, Oregon, their first of the half.
Now they're coming up on a 3rd and 5.
Yeah, and I think everything is open to you here. They love the screen game with running backs, tight ends, everybody. And they've got good little wrinkles that come off of that screen game as well. Also keep in mind, their kicker, the true freshman, Camden Lewis, has yet to make a field goal in only 2 attempts over the course of September.
And both of the misses inside 30 yards for Lewis this season. They're going to swing it out to Verdell. Verdell with space, and he gets the first down.
You know who's really good? This left tackle, man. He is an all-American big-time player. The true sophomore. This is a screen. This is a little swing screen. One of the varieties that just get the ball in space. And how many 320-pounders do you see moving like that? Not many.
This time Herbert keeps, goes around the edge. Pretty much everybody in the stadium thought that Verdell had it, but it's the quarterback that keeps.
And Brandon, they need to do more of this. I know that they want to protect him. He's a very expensive racehorse. Coach Arroyo told us yesterday. I get all of that. But you're also in a senior season here, and he's got to learn to protect himself. But he is a good enough athlete that I think there is many yards in their run game, their read zone, their stretch, where he can do exactly that.
Here he's going to turn around and hand it off to Verdell. This time Verdell met. 2 yards shy of the line to gain, so it will be 3rd down and 2 coming up. And Verdell is a little slow to get off the ground, as the sophomore is in some obvious pain right now. Well, you hate to see that. He's rolling around and grabbing at that right ankle. 10 carries, 46 yards, and you've seen him in the past game as well.
Yeah, they really lightened the load at the beginning of the year, and down at Stanford on the farm, 24 carries. He is fighting and he is driving.
Maybe just fell on it awkwardly. I don't know, but he is down and grabbing the face mask. Here Verdell is trying to walk off under his own power, but it's a limp. So Travis Dye probably means more carries for the man who just had 1 rush against Stanford. You mentioned that Verdell had 24.
And he goes no gloves, no wristbands, no pads. He goes old school when he comes in the game, but these 2 backs run hard. They know the strength of this crew, and they really trust those guys up front. They love seeing Jake Hansen and his 40 career starts back in the fold at center. You mentioned it earlier, over 170 combined starts with that group, and these backs get behind their pads.
It's a good point. It's big for them to have Hansen back at center and Throckmorton at his normal spot at right tackle. Well, they did get Cyrus Habibi-Likio back this week. He missed the Stanford game with back spasms. He would be another option at tailback for Oregon.
And you probably will see him over the course of this game tonight.
And with 4th and 1 looming, they're keeping the offense on the field. Mentioned they haven't had a field goal all year. Second effort, reaching out, and Travis Dye, did he get it? California says no. And he fumbled it.
The field is a fumble recovered by the defense. 1st down.
And it was Coin Dang that came up with it. He lost it on that second effort.
Yeah, there's no question. You knew where the ball was going. They were unbalanced, brought the big tackle over, and you can see Dye. He knows where the line to gain is, but he just loses control before he comes down to the ground. You love the second effort. You love the want to. He knew where he had to go, but that ball slips away, and those are the 2 possessions that Justin Wilcox talked about. They needed to steal the ball a couple times if they were going to steal the game here at Autzen Stadium. And the Ducks a couple very costly turnovers in scoring position.
So now Monster from the shadow of his own goalpost gives to Brown. Brown slips through the right side. Those big legs churning out near the 15. Hawkins motions out left. And it's an inside give, and Oregon swarming to the football as we welcome back in Bruce Feldman.
Guys, little injury update. Michael Safell, the leader of that Cal offensive line, he injured his lower right leg. At one point, he tried to put weight on it, really winced. They ended up taking him off the field on the cart.
So again, that's a complete shuffle on the left side of that line for Justin Wilcox.
How aggressive will you be here, backed up in your own territory? Monster making the first start of the season.
From the 15, they need to get to the 19. Pocket collapses over the middle. Not going to get there. Just a short underneath route. 338 tackles coming in for Troy Dye. What a career the senior has had, and another nice play there to get the Ducks the football back. And it's Coots punting. He had been injured most of this year. He is their normal preferred punter, and that one goes inside the 35, but there's a flag now. Brandon Smith ran out of bounds on the punt, so 5 yards tacked onto the end, and then Oregon will begin at the 40. Herbert out of the pistol. Will play fake. Pocket clean again. Did he haul that in? Yes, Micah Pittman. Welcome to Oregon, young man. First catch as a Duck for the true freshman from Tampa, Florida.
Yeah, he'll remember that one, and that's not an easy catch, man. He is running full speed. That ball just dies, and he's got the ability and the body control to go down and dig it out. What a tremendous first catch to open his career.
That right shoulder injury during camp that we talked about returned to practice last week, and he is ready to make an impact. Stretching it out left side, just not much space, and Dye lost it again. Cal says they have it, and they do. 3 Oregon turnovers.
By the defense. First down, Cal.
And Travis Dye with some fumble woes early.
And a couple guys here. That's an outside stretch, and it's Trey Turner. The safety's going to come down. It's Evan Soup. The big fella's getting down the line. They play a lot of guys in that secondary. They may not have a ton of guys up front, but they will fly to the football on the back end. And that ball security for Travis Dye, that's now back-to-back fumbles. And with Verdell out, you begin to wonder how much of that now is going to get into his head. +3 for the Bears in the most important column statistically that matters, especially on the road.
What a story early. Oregon with 2 turnovers in their first 4 games combined and 3 already, and we're barely into the second quarter. Monster, he loves to go deep. He's going deep here, but he overshot his intended target, Jeremiah Hawkins. The head coach Wilcox, born right here in Eugene, as we mentioned earlier. A lot of friends and family in Autzen Stadium tonight. Monster off the play fake. Little behind his intended target, was going for his tight end Jake Tonjes, and he missed him.
And it's going to get the folks here in Autzen awake.
They need to get to the 48. Little pressure, and the pass is caught inside the 40 by Tonjes. As Monster took a hit by Lenore, he was able to get it to his tight end.
Brandon, the degree of difficulty on the previous throw was about a 1 on the scale of 1 to 10. This is a 10. Someone breathing right down your throat, right over the middle linebacker's head in front of the safety. Phenomenal.
And they're going quickly. And they go out this time to Clark. So a couple connections from Monster. And let's look at this hit that he took from Lenore.
That's a boundary corner. He's coming in with the pressure. Monster feels that. He's looking down the field, but you can feel that edge pressure coming. And I'm telling you, to fit that throw in, that window was tiny. But it shows you what a backup quarterback can do. When they play without fear, are willing to pull the trigger and take a risk, yeah, he's going to miss a few.
Crowd trying to implore this Oregon team to get going. Monster for the sideline and a little too far out in front of Jordan Duncan.
No, but that's a pretty good throw too. And I think this Oregon secondary is going, hold on just a second here. I watched tape of this Monster guy last week, and I didn't see any of this. Right, this is zone coverage, little cloud coverage there. Duncan runs through it. That's about the only chance and spot that Monster had, but you can feel his aggressive meter going, okay, this is not last week. This is a totally different environment, and playing with nothing to lose right now and trying to give my guys on the other end every opportunity to make a big play.
It's the 3rd career start for Monster. Had the 2 at UCLA when Josh Rosen got hurt a couple of years ago. This time he defers to Chris Brown, and Brown is swarmed quickly. Slade Mata Utia. Scott was also in there on the stop.
You're just not going to move big Jordan in there. It just, and especially now as they've slid the left guard Cindric into that spot. The guy's a mountain of a man, and he knows it.
His nickname is Fat Mac. He proved it there.
Better get to the quarterback. You better affect him.
Crowd doing its part. 3rd and 10. Here comes the blitz. Monster's going to take off. And he started that slide about 1.5 yards short, so he will not make it.
Wow. And that's just inexperience, and he knows it. What a tremendous job. Andy Avalos thinking the same thing I am. I'm not going to let this guy get comfortable, but remember, the instant he begins to give himself up, that's where the ball gets marked, and that's a fair spot, 1 yard behind the line. He dives head first. He's going to get it, and Justin knows it.
It is almost a full 2 yards, and a frustrated Justin Wilcox brings on Greg Thomas for the field goal. And Thomas missed it. Wide left. He was 8 of 9 this season.
Yeah, perfect holds, perfect spot. And it's just a push. And you can see the crowd. They love it. Mario Cristobal, that's the break that he needed after 3 giveaways in the first 20 minutes of action.
Habibi Likio is in there. This is his first carry back from those back spasms. Let's go back down to Bruce.
Brandon, really interesting on the sideline here. Travis Dye was really crushed by that latest fumble. He sat there, and a bunch of his teammates, one by one, came over. Penei Sewell at one point looked at him, pounded his chest. I believe in you, I believe in you, with some really colorful language mixed in. And then Mario Cristobal pulled him off the bench and was very supportive, saying, hey, we need you. Don't worry about anything that just happened, as they try to settle him down.
And now a sack as Herbert is taken down by Zionde Johnson. First sack of the season for the redshirt senior.
That's big time. That's just a one-on-one here on the left side with Shane Lemieux, the left guard, and you're just going to see the hands in the swim move win. 4 sacks a week ago, 2 weeks ago, by Stanford. A couple fumbles by Herbert in that pocket as well. Cal playing on fire in this first half.
And it's not easy to beat Lemieux. His 43rd consecutive start at left guard. Brings up 3rd down. They go to Pittman. And Pittman is able to make another sensational catch, but he's 1 yard shy of the marker. Wow.
Big time.
He's a freshman in his first game.
And the hometown fans, for some reason, want Mario Cristobal to go. You're not going for it with now 2 running backs that you're not comfortable with. One that's been knocked out of the game and one that's fumbled twice.
So Blake Mamo boots it away, and a fair catch called for by Remigio. These Oregon fans waiting for this offense to get going, down 7-0 with those 3 turnovers.
Yeah, and just 2 turnovers the first 4 games of this season. Just a lot of firsts in this first half. Very unexpectedly here by Cal, the much hungrier team.
This drive starts at the 26. Off play action. Monster's going to run again. This time he dives forward. A gain of 3 to the 29. And we've got a timeout by Oregon.
Timeout, Oregon. We're second in the half.
But the story of the game right now, those turnovers by the Ducks.
And Justin Wilcox said it point blank to us last night that if they're going to come in here and win, they've got to steal 2-3 possessions. And Ashton Davis did it right from the jump. Herbert's first interception of the season in 174 attempts. And then back-to-back fumbles by the backup running back, Travis Dye. The first one slips out of his hand. The second one, an excellent play by the safety, Trey Turner, who comes in, who pokes the ball away. The pursuit of the Bears to go get it.
2nd 7, Deshaun Collins, redshirt junior JUCO transfer in the backfield with Monster. And it will be Collins straight ahead. And he was met by Samson New, and they say Samson New, even though he's 206, is pound for pound the hardest hitter on the defense. 3rd and 4, Brown back in the game at tailback. Monster wide. Was going in the direction of Remigio. 4th down, Cal will
That's
punt.
that nickelback, Javon Holland, who you just put the tape on, and he just jumps off the screen. It was a tight window. Monster was not going to give him any opportunity to make the 8th interception of his career. I don't mind that throw for Monster.
And again, it's Coots. It had been Longhetto punting for him in previous weeks, but Coots back out there. And the return by the aforementioned Javon Holland. Oh, yeah, he can do that as well. There's a flag on the ground around the 42.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 23. The 10-yard penalty enforced from the end of the kick. 1st and 10. Timeout on the field.
That is on Verone McKinley. So the Ducks now take over. That penalty was a big one. Set him back about 25 yards. Now that helps, as it's a reception out to Johnny Johnson.
You got to get the chains moving, and I think a couple components have to come to life. The screen game, which is so good, because they can use it with their slot receivers. Red is so dynamic in that way. And then Breland. Where's Jacob Breland? He is a mismatch maker at tight end. Got to get him involved.
Targeted him a couple times early, but to no avail. This time over the middle, what a pop, as Jalen Red got hit hard by Ashton Davis.
And it is so hard, and usually young safeties will panic in this moment, and they'll go hit the receiver. He waits. He separates the receiver from ball clean. That is a perfect strike zone. That's where this game, they want these safeties to get to. You cannot do it better than Ashton just did.
Interception earlier, that play. And we're going to get a timeout here before the next snap.
Timeout, Oregon. Their 3rd and final timeout of the half.
And you can get away with it versus Montana and Nevada and others, but not against this secondary. He's just got to play with a tick more anticipation.
Here he will hand it off. And Habibi Likio to the 30. Bruce, what do you have?
Brandon, update on C.J. Verdell, Oregon's starting running back. He was taken back to the locker room to be evaluated for a leg injury. Obviously, with the issues with Travis Dye and the fumbling and trying to get his spirits back up, big issue for the Oregon run game right now.
Yeah, so they'll try to get Habibi Likio going, as you see Dye on the sideline after those 2 lost fumbles. Herbert, here comes some pressure. Dumps it off, there's Breland. Flag comes in. Breland all the way to midfield, and we'll see what the laundry is about.
I think the flag is going to be on Cal. That is your screen, and that is your tight end. Well timed.
Defense number 22. The penalties decline. The result of the play is a 1st down.
Yeah, Breland, the senior, is just too fast, and this is all about timing. You just can't do it better than this. He sells the run game. He allows those defenders to run by, and then you just see some of the playmaking that he's got. He's a difference maker.
You said it. Screens, get to your tight end Breland, and they do. It's almost like you've done this before. From the 50 off the play fake. Herbert. Boy, he can throw a strike. Complete to Brendan Schooler. Another kid back from injury, and a fan favorite. Gain of 22.
Yeah, this was a rocket shot, and it had to be. You've seen this deep over concept. If you play a zone, single safety team, it means you've got to throw into these windows. That's now the 2nd or 3rd deep over you've seen.
Herbert again. Escapes the pocket on the run for the end zone. He's going for Schooler, a little too much mustard. 3 receivers out to the right. They'll swing it out there to Habibi Likio. Tries to cut back in, and he's chopped down at the 27. We haven't said the name Evan Weaver a whole lot here in this game so far. Herbert throwing deep for the end zone. Johnson stretches out, and they say incomplete. Johnny Johnson tried to do everything he could, but it's going to bring up 4th and 8.
Boy, and you can't put it in a better spot. Herbert takes a hit, and Johnson does everything he can do imaginably to stretch out and make this play. Hands underneath it.
Ooh, that's close.
That ball's moving.
Yep,
that's the right
moving.
call. But the fans could do all they want. They didn't see that replay. That is the right call by the official.
Remember, no field goals this year made for Oregon. And unfortunately for the Ducks, that trend continues.
Yeah, the previous 2 misses, less than 30 yards. One of them a bad snap. That's perfect execution. I was watching these guys in warm-ups and kicking into that breeze. And it's pretty defined down on that field.
102 yards this time. He hands it off. Good spin by Brown. And Brown out to the 35. That's what Bo Baldwin said. I asked in his sophomore season, what is the stride that he's made? He said he's become a complete back. He can do it all. Saw him with that receiving touchdown And after the carry, 2nd and 2, gets it again, and he's got the first. And they like Marcel Dancy. He had between 5 and 12 carries every week, but as you said, that lower body injury dinged up. So Collins getting an opportunity, and he's out there now, 1st and 10. Faking the handoff to Remigio, and now Modster is going to tuck it. And a good job by Devon Modster using the legs to the 46. Straight ahead, and a little push from the big fellas up front. That's going to be enough for the first to the 49-yard line. You see there, all 4 plays of the drive have been runs.
This was play action off of this the last time they shifted formation.
And there we go, the play fake, pressure. Modster on the run. Coming back to try to get it was Clark. And they say he got it.
Wow. How many Cal fans are sitting home at Berkeley right now going, who is this number 6? Because I don't recognize this guy. This is not the guy that you watched play a half against Sun Devils a week ago. He's making plays on the run. He's throwing darts to his left on the move. Trayvon comes underneath that, catches it, secures it. It's a different Modster tonight.
Boy, it is. I thought Lamar Winston was going to get him. Modster had the 6th sense to spin and escape. This time, nothing. Just back to the line of scrimmage. They fake it to him. Off his back foot, Modster going deep too far. Was going back toward Tonjes, who had that great catch earlier.
Ducks showing pressure, usually bail out of this pressure look.
They do bail. A little pressure and the ball is loose. But he was down on the ground and it's 4th and long.
You see the pressure come right here. That is the true freshman, Mr. Thibodeau, the 5-star #1 recruit in America, gets home for his first full sack of his Duck career. And Johnny on the spot, the true freshman himself, Mr. Medower. McCade Medower, the right guard. Johnny on the spot.
Well, they needed that true freshman. The only true freshman starter on the offense, and he was able to pounce on it.
True freshman on true freshman. Just looking at that Kayvon Thibodeau at practice yesterday. You're just not supposed to look like that. And Mario won out. Everybody in America wanted Thibodeau to be a pass rusher in their program. Over 50 sacks collegiately. And you could feel him coming on as this season evolves. But Mario's been taking a lot of notes over there in this first half. This is not the kind of game coming off a bye week where it was all about details. All about the little things, doing everything right in that way. 3 giveaways, multiple penalties. The Cal Berkeley team that has shown you, hey, they're willing to play these one-possession games. They went up to Seattle last month. Actually found a way to win an awfully big one.
Monster's got an arm as he tries to take one final shot here before intermission. Escapes and flings it. And it's going to be well short of the end zone and intercepted. Javon Holland, he can run. But he only gets to midfield before he's upended by the quarterback, Devon Modster. 8th career interception, though, for Holland. Kicking into the breeze, Travis Dye to return it. Dye with a pretty solid return out to the 30. Let's go down to Bruce.
Brandon, I just talked to Mario Cristobal, and he said, you know what, we're not playing Oregon football. Too many self-inflicted mistakes. Now, you can't do that against a team this good. C.J. Verdell is not expected to return, he told me. I said, what do you do to get Travis Dye going again? He said, listen, I told him, we trust you, we believe in you, and you're going to help us win this game in the second half.
And we see Travis Dye back out there.
You got to. Bibi Luquillo, he's a big back, but he does not got the kind of movement that you need, especially in the scheme with this outside run they like.
This time trying to hold on to that football.
There's Beckett, and there's Weaver, and there's some of the Cal Golden Bears pursuing. And I think one of the big keys is after the Ducks controlled the ball on that opening drive, went right down the field, he thought, man, the time of possession game against a crew that doesn't play a lot of people, danger for Cal.
Herbert on the run, underthrown in the direction of Jalen Red. Herbert, pressure coming, he throws outside, incomplete. Even if he caught it, he was about a yard shy.
Here he gets a pressure look. This is an out to the field, and this has been a bit of a theme tonight. It's just been a tick late. And a tick late against elite secondaries that leads to incompletions and even interceptions.
Fair catch from Mejio, just inside the 25. Back down to Bruce.
Guys, I talked to Justin Wilcox. He said he was very pleased with what he's seen from Devon Monster. He said, you know what, there are a couple of shots that we gotta hit that are there, but otherwise I like that we are forcing turnovers. That's a big thing we stretched. Also, the body language of the Cal defense, and it's not just Evan Weaver. These guys are really animated. They feel like they are the tougher team. They have challenged the Oregon offensive line as good as it's supposed to be. They feel like they have the edge, and they feel like their toughness is willing out right now.
Monster in his third career start. First at Cal, underneath.
The stats don't show it. 7 of 15, just over 100 yards. That interception, but that interception was the Hail Mary before half. He's really managed this game well. He's not put the ball in harm's way, which is a big component to the way this Cal team is built.
Well, these coaches, to a man, said he's a lot better than he showed last week, and so far that's true to form. Swinging it out, so a couple of times getting Brown involved in the passing game here. Remember, he has the only touchdown tonight.
Yet another injury that Cal can ill afford on that offensive line.
That's Daltoso, who started his career at Oregon, then transferred to Cal, and he is down on the field. So now Patasi, number 70 in white, the redshirt sophomore, trots on.
Yeah, remember, Daltoso started this game at left tackle. Because of the shuffling and the injuries, he slides in, plays a little bit of guard. Patasi, let's go.
They need to get to the 35-yard line. They're going for more than that, but no shot. Over the head of Jordan Duncan. Coverage by Lenore.
I mean, everywhere it's been real tight coverage. A couple of the receptions have been phenomenal plays. Man-to-man, a little bit of pressure, an extra defender from Avalos. The first-time defensive coordinator, he too is going to trust his secondary. You see it on both sides. Two really elite secondaries in all of college football are challenging both of these offenses, and the scoreboard reflective of that.
Stephen Coots again to punt. And that's going to take a great Cal bounce. And it will check up inside the 20, trying to make it 13 straight opponents to 25 points or less. Longest streak in the nation. And
I really like Tim DeRuyter. I like the mix of Wilcox, veteran coach Tim DeRuyter, a guy that loves to blitz and pressure. I think the combination of the brain trust of those two puts together a pretty darn elite defense.
Travis Dye will get the carry. And Travis Dye, who had the two fumbles in the first half, takes it to the 30, a gain of 12.
It's that edge. Just watch that edge. If you win the edge, you're going to win in this run game. If you don't have a chance. And Breland does a nice job, secures it on Cameron Good. It sets up everything they want to do.
We'll try it again, this time straight up the gut.
Yeah, you've got to see now off of that edge run, right? You run that, and why it's so good in play action. And I thought Peyton Manning back in the day with the Colts was about as good as anybody in their outside stretch. That should get linebackers, that should get safeties, that should get people influenced, and then you see that post, and then you see that deep over. I like they're sticking to that run philosophy, but then you've got to pay it off with the play action, and not just completions, but you've got to bludgeon these guys on the back end off of the play action.
Interesting breakdown for Oregon. 121 rushing, 110 passing for Herbert. He's going to throw it here. Here comes pressure. Hit as he fires and able to complete it to Jalen Redd. But Herbert paid for it. Out to midfield.
A good little line stunt here, and we've said this about both quarterbacks. You can feel this coming. That's Cameron Good off the edge. It's an excellent catch by Redd, but there's some advantages to being 6'6", 240 pounds. You can absorb that contact, and it really does not affect the throw.
Largest Oregon quarterback they've ever had here by the dimensions. Stepping up, incomplete. Ooh, And then Dye took a good pop, but he gets up okay.
Cristobal knew it. Sitting down with him yesterday, he knew this was going to be a tough, highly contested game against a veteran defense.
Pittman in motion. And they'll go that way to Pittman. Up 7-0. Gorgeous here at Autzen Stadium.
Where's Breland?
3rd and 5. And they go for Pittman, and Pittman hauls it in. The young freshman with his 3rd catch of the night.
And Breland runs the inside slant. That's just a double slant combination. And you see some of the influence he has. It really clears the window for the slants coming behind. And Mr. Pittman showing him, man, exactly what he showed all through training camp. If it's high, if it's low, if it's behind him, it really doesn't matter. He's got the athleticism and the body control to make it look easy.
And Mario Cristobal said everything you've read about him is true. Herbert going to Breland this time. And Breland hit hard and taken down by Weaver. Down to the 23.
Oh, that's an NFL play. The scouts that are here tonight, this is what you got to do at the next level. You got to make that man miss. You've got to step into even knowing you're going to get punished and be able to get through your progressions to the 3rd or 4th option. That check down, that's big time.
5 straight passes as we get ready for the 8th play of the drive. New set of downs. That's Habibi Likio. And he'll take it on the edge of the red zone to the 20.
Pressure look.
Let's see what Tim DeRuyter does here. Here comes the pressure. Quick throw out left. And another target for Jalen Red. And another Oregon first down.
That was a good job. That was almost a pick play in the bunch set. 3-on-3 out on the perimeter. And Red is just going to run the little swing route, and you're going to see the traffic. He just can't get through all the congestion. Perfectly thrown ball gives Red the opportunity to get 8.
4 catches for Red, now up over 20 on the season for the junior from Carson, California. Oregon trying to break that goose egg. Reverse. Red this time in the run game, nothing doing. Coming up, Cameron Good says no sir, tackle for loss. Backs him up 2nd and 11.
Man.
Habibi Likio trying to go through that man-to-man to the 10-yard line. And that'll bring up 3rd down for the Ducks.
You know, a week ago we had Washington, USC, and Washington, Cal, Oregon. They're all from the same tree defensively. And one thing that's intimidating is those safeties. All of these teams, look at the depth of the safety. If you're a quarterback, you're looking at that group defensively, and yeah, Weaver's intimidating, and that front is good, but you just feel like there is no gimme against this group defensively.
Herbert behind Breland, incomplete. 3rd time that Oregon has been in the red zone, and they're going to try to get a field goal out of it on this trip.
Yeah, but there was no window. Right, those safeties I was talking about, look at their depth. They are in the end zone, and Weaver is staring this play down. It's an out and up by the tight end. That is a tiny window. Weaver's either going to catch it, or Ashton Davis is going to get his 2nd pick.
Lewis missed from 45 earlier, and there is Oregon's first made field goal of the season.
One guy I have not given credit to, and shame on me, is Cam Bynum. And really, he's in a one-on-one situation as you watch this unfold. Because he wipes this out, look at you now have 5-on-3. You have such a clear advantage when you've got an elite corner. Look at the window. I showed you earlier that window. Everyone thinks that's behind. There is no window. If that ball is in front, this is an interception by Ashton. That's the only spot he had to go. And Mr. Bynum, he's making life difficult for Herbert because that one side of the field has really been a non-factor all night long.
I mentioned earlier, Oregon in this series has scored 40 or more 8 straight times against Cal, but a different script this evening. Cal will try to add to that 7-3 lead in a Pac-12 showdown when we get back to Autzen. So Cal gets the football back. If you're Cal, you've only put up 7 points, Brock, but do you stick with the same formula?
Yeah, you do. And Bradshaw is going to wear that hat tomorrow in studio, from what I understand. Yeah, you do. You absolutely continue to shorten this game and put more and more pressure on the home team, but that doesn't mean you don't take a shot versus one-on-one either.
Oh, the snap over the head of Monster, and he went back to dive on it just outside of the 10-yard line. Remember all the O-line shuffles with the injury, and it comes back to haunt him here.
Yeah, he wasn't ready. He's still making calls. You can see he's directing traffic. And Cindric, the left guard, who's done an admirable job shifting over and playing center, puts it right by the ear hole.
And now they want this defense up. Empty on 2nd and 23. Monster out of bounds.
Yeah, this is one of, if not the most difficult place to play, and just watch the noise meter. It will never be louder than it has been for this play tonight.
They'll run it. Busting it outside Brown. Not near enough. Gave him a little space out around the 18. With Coots standing in his own 2.
An injury a week ago, and Justin was really disappointed about that ASU loss. You could feel it on Saturday. You could feel it Monday. I think he was over it by Friday. But he's a well of a coach. His staff puts his kids and their kids in the best position for success. It's going to be a battle to the end.
Now Justin Wilcox's longtime friend Justin Herbert takes over and hands it off to Dye, and Dye almost broke that and took it the distance. Instead, it's to the 43.
Yeah, and this is time for this veteran O-line to just show up. Right, and you're going to see finally a hat on a hat, a little bit of movement getting to the second level. Throckmorton does just a perfect job there. This is, if you're 4 seniors up front with 173 starts, this is time at the game where you make a statement.
Another chance for Dye, and this time he's not going anywhere. Evan Weaver with the stop.
That's a big time play right there now. That is a one-on-one situation that he is just going to win. And when he gets his hands on you, it is over. Right? I think that is the most remarkable thing about him. He'll miss tackles in space. He has tonight. He did a week ago. But anytime he gets those mitts on you, heavy hands, man, and he just finishes you.
He came in with 78 tackles. Number 2 in all of college football, 58. 20 more than anybody else, but just 4 tonight. Herbert over the middle. Incomplete. Boy, that hit the back of the defender, Evan Weaver.
Yeah, it did, and he had an underneath shallow cross for a completion. You're going to see the shallow cross come right into your screen, and Herbert says, nope, I'm going to take the shot down the field. Look at the linebackers clear. He can throw it underneath, and he's going to move the chains. Instead, once again, a tight window that closes, and a heady play for Mr. Weaver.
Right off the helmet, 3rd and 11. They kept the pocket clean. Ball batted in the air and incomplete. Intended for Johnny Johnson.
Well, you're seeing both teams in 3rd downs. It's pretty simple. It's man-to-man. And are you better than me? Putting a lot of people around the line of scrimmage. Cam Bynum, there's some contact both ways. But you just really can't cover it hip-to-hip better than that. Taker's showing up.
32nd career start for Bynum, as you say, part of that Takers secondary with 121 career starts between them. So an interesting score there right now. Pac-12 action as Justin Herbert hops on the phone.
Yeah, and I'm pretty confident Marcus Arroyo, offensive coordinator's up in the booth saying, hey, man, you got to take what's there. That 3rd down play, that's a tough one. But 2nd down, Juwan Johnson's running right in front of you. Do not force it down the field. The crumbs will eventually lead to the cookie. Got to take them.
Cal backed up here. Brown giving him some breathing room to the 15. 2nd and 5. This Oregon defense tries to stand tall again and keep it at 7-3. Brown, boy, he is powerful at 230 pounds. 3rd and 1 coming up.
Yeah, he just does not mind contact at all. And I think when you're 230 and you got that forward lane and so much of their system up front is just trying to secure right at the point of attack and allowing him to bounce and get downhill. But what an enormous 3rd and 1 right here.
Do you go back to number 34?
You have to.
And they do. Brown, no, won't get there. In fact, he went backwards. And the Duck faithful and Mario Cristobal love it.
And it's Popo Aumavae, a guy that is really coming into his own, and you're going to watch him right in these short yardage situations. You have just got to win at the point of attack. And defensively, if you get on that edge, you win. I don't mind the call. I think it's a little long developing in a group that flies around the way that Oregon does. I think I'd have preferred a straight ahead shot rather than anything laterally.
You mentioned Aumavae. The coaches say he's made a huge jump the last 3 weeks. Big play there, and now Holland trying to make a big play of his own. And this is going to be the best starting field position for either team tonight as Holland returns it down just shy of the 30. Well, Cal has been punting the ball low with Stephen Coots, and this time it bit him.
Yeah, they tried to avoid him, right? He's done a lot of directional punting and kicking tonight to make sure that Holland did not get many opportunities. Kid's electric. Already an 8th interception in his career with the one before halftime. The ball seems to find him. And boy, has he ever set up these Ducks. And this has got to be a shot. One of these 3 plays here has got to find a way to push the ball down the field into the end zone.
3 receivers, bottom of your screen. It's going to be a handoff instead and nothing doing. In fact, a loss of 1. And a few moans and groans from the Oregon faithful. It's a nice play, by the way, by Ben Hawk-Schreider. 2nd and 11. Herbert to Breland. Well, there's your shot. And the Ducks are going to have it 1st and goal. A gain of 29. Herbert to Breland.
Yeah, this is their leading touchdown maker in this phase of the game. And at 250, he can be a mismatch. And you see the tempo now for the Ducks lining up.
They've got Habibi Likio in the backfield at 222 pounds.
Fans are booing, but you've got to allow the defense to sub when you sub.
They give it to the big back, and he powers his way forward and into the end zone. And Oregon has their first lead of the night.
Finally, just a little juice and electricity on the field that really is matching the capacity crowd tonight. They've been begging for that for about 45 minutes of game action.
They finally got it. 10 straight unanswered for Oregon. Habibi Likio, who last year they called the touchdown vulture. He had 7 scores on 18 carries, and here's his 2nd this year.
Yeah, and you get in those short yardage, and it's kind of like a quarterback can just feel the people on the edges. And I think the good running backs that have the nose for the goal line, they can just feel and sense in those small spaces how to get skinny, how to get on an edge, and then ultimately how to plow it into the end zone.
And you're right, it's almost as if there was a big sigh of relief here at Autzen Stadium after that score.
And finally, that defense, right, that has just been stepping on it and keeping the field position and keeping the field position. And Holland makes the big punt return in the shot down the field. But ultimately, if you're going to win this game, you're going to have to win some of those battles down the field. Exactly the same scenario, I think, for Cal on the other side in the final 15.
Time for some push-ups from the Duck.
Oh, he's had it easy tonight, though. He's built for so much
really
more.
Easy.
Yes.
Third quarter, though, has been dominated by Oregon, 114 yards. Cal just 2 yards of offense here in the third. They're going to return this. And not the best decision. Only out to the 20. All right, and now Cal and this offense playing from behind for the first time tonight.
Yeah, but I don't think you can panic. I think you got to continue to run the ball. And I'm sure that was the messaging, Justin Wilcox to Beau Baldwin. The worst thing you can do is try to react emotionally right now. Play with poise, as this stadium is electric.
Movement. It's on Cal. False start.
Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And that's on the true freshman.
Yeah, that defensive line, a little shift before the snap. Something they've not done an awful lot tonight. Have not really had to. That D-line has played awfully well, but the little pre-snap movement forces the freshman to flinch, and man, this place is loud.
Monster trying to deal with that noise. Going long. Too long. Trying to find Jordan Duncan. Bruce, how loud is it down there on the field?
It is deafening down here, Brandon. And it's been loud really ever since they had the botched snap. I think it's been building and building, and this Oregon crowd was just waiting for something really big to happen on offense. And it has gotten so loud down here, louder than anything we've seen this season so far.
And here they go again. Monster hands to Brown, and Brown trying to push his way forward, but he's not going to go very far.
Played in this place, and it just makes your helmet shake. Arrowhead Stadium, CenturyLink Field, they're all the same. Husky Stadium, as the noise reverberates off of the stands, and as a player in this environment, it is so hard to stay poised. It's so hard to even hear and communicate.
Cal has failed on their last 8 third-down conversions, and they've got to go 14 yards here. The third is the back. He clears out. Well, that's caught, but he's got a lot of work to do, and Trayvon Clark's not going to get anywhere near. Thomas Graham was out there, and Cal will punt.
You know, we started this show a long time ago talking about this defensive group. And Cal made some extraordinary catches in that first half. But this defense was put on the field multiple times. Give away, give away, give away. And all you see is the 7 points, and you feel their speed at every level, man. This defense is for real. It's the best Duck defense I've seen in a long time.
Holland had a nice return last time on a low punt. This time, high in the air from Coots. 5 seconds left in the third quarter as Oregon starts this drive from their own 41. Play action. Herbert doesn't see anything, so he's going to take off. He lost it, but he's bailed out. Warmack dove right on it to keep the possession. Whew. What an interesting way to end the third quarter. Heads up play by Dallas Warmack. So Oregon.
The players going crazy on the sidelines. And these fans, pretty good rhythm.
So the fourth quarter starts with a 2nd and 5 and a first down to Breland. A little behind him, but he adjusted and caught it and takes it to the 36.
Yeah, you just feel his presence, a little RPO. I have not seen a ton of this tonight. See the run action up front. You're right, a tick behind him. Doesn't matter for Breland. He's special talent catching it.
4 catches, 79 yards. That last one for 18. Herbert again escapes, and that time behind Dye, who had emptied the backfield.
What really jumps out, sorry Brandon, is just the Ducks' ability to stop the run. 22 rushing attempts for Cal, and they just cannot really get anything consistently there. They become one-dimensional against Oregon's group, and Justin knows that is going to be very difficult to be anywhere near the efficiency level you got to be in this building. And every yard has been pretty hard-earned for the Ducks. Very few explosives.
Herbert off the play fake, going back to Breland. His 5th catch, little hurdle. And then finally taken down by Weaver.
And this is a nice gift that Herbert has. Cameron Bynum, okay, fine. You lock down the field on one side of it. A little difficult against some of those safeties, but you get Breland on linebackers, you get him underneath, you get him up a seam. He is quite a weapon.
Weaver almost took off Breland's pants there. Glad that he didn't. 3rd down and 2 forthcoming. Habibi Likio, who had the touchdown for Oregon earlier, is in the backfield to the right of Herbert. Herbert pumps, throws, and over the head of Red as he tried to adjust, and he's frustrated.
Yeah, he's just a little unsettled. He can see that safety sitting about 20 yards deep, trying to eliminate the big play, and any ball that's got air on it, these safeties are going to hunt it down. He has them. But you could see the safety coming over there, Hawkins. That's when you just have got to put on the shoulder pads. If you have fear of that safety down the field, then minimize them by putting that ball on the line.
So 4th and 2, and they're going to go for it here, Brock.
I think the right call. Your kicking situation, especially going this way, not a strength. Trust your seniors. Man-to-man.
Herbert trying to beat that man-to-man. Going for Red again, incomplete. Well, even if he had tried to catch it, Bynum was right there ready to hit him.
Boy, Kyle guessed. Look at the 2. It's 2-on-2. They guessed this ball was going to the flat, and they guessed right.
This has been a defense domination. Monster. Flags coming in. Back at the line of scrimmage. So for the moment, it's a 1st down gain of 11.
Holding. Offense, number 72. 10-yard penalty. Replay 1st down.
And that's again the freshman Metallier.
Yeah, and that is just a tough matchup. You're going to see it come right in your screen. And the Ducks, remember, they don't play 4 or 5 D linemen. They're going to roll 10, 12 guys through there. The senior Carlberg wins off the jump, and the freshman, all he can do is reach and grab. And finally, look, the Ducks going for a ride.
They got him in the boat. Oh, boy, he might go overboard. What a fun night. What a great game tonight here in Eugene. Monster off the empty set. Once again, he sees some grass. He's going to take advantage of it. Got the 10 yards back, so 2nd and 10 for the redshirt junior Devon Monster.
Motion and empty again.
And then movement.
Offside. Defense number 45 in the neutral zone, causing the offense to false start. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
And he's the reigning Pac-12 defensive lineman of the week.
Yeah, you're going to see the communication here. It's just a little tap to let the center know that everything is set, ready to go. Totally legal. And gets the senior.
Movement again. This time they're pointing at Cal. It is a false start.
False start. Offense, number 72. A 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Yeah, once again, okay, so we can do the same thing defensively. A little stem from that defensive line. Once again, just the little tricks of the trade. And the true freshman right there sees a little bit of that movement, and Wilcox doesn't like any of it. And I bet some of that is thinking that they're making the call, right? That back set call, or Cal said, "Head up." That call, because the right guard, the true freshman, ticked. So is the head coach.
A little baptism by fire for the young man here this evening. Monster throws it, and it is caught inbounds, they will say. Wasn't sure if he stayed in, but Duncan was able to as he fell to his back. It's a big 1st down catch. Ooh, got to watch that left elbow and hand.
And does that come down before the gluteus comes down?
They're going to blow it. Take a look at it.
Let's take a look at his right foot as well. Does the right foot come down at all? Ooh, I think it does.
Ooh.
Yep, I think you see even some of the rubber pellets come up into the air from that right foot. What a remarkable catch.
You know, that's where this turf surface and those pellets really help the eye.
Yeah, you see the pellets fly, Dean.
Well, we haven't had to use Dean Blandino tonight. Welcome to the party. What do you think?
Yeah, we've been sitting here just waiting for our opportunity, and we finally got it. And you look at that right hand, or that left hand touching out of bounds, but then you go to the right foot. It looks like the right foot may just tap the ground prior to him touching out of bounds. They ruled it a catch, and to me, I don't think they can change this based on that right foot.
The receiver's right foot touched inbounds. Therefore, the catch is complete. First down.
Follow up, too, on the cadence. We've seen now multiple times. As a referee crew, as an umpire, can you hear if that defensive line is given a cadence for the offense?
Typically that would be the umpire who's in the defensive backfield that's going to listen to that.
Yeah.
And if they are calling out something that mimics the cadence, mimics the snap count, that should be on the defense, and the umpire will listen for that.
Great stuff. Thanks, Dean. So 1st and 10. Going back to Brown, and Brown is hit hard. Troy Dye and also Slade Mati-Tua were there to take him down.
And just look at the numbers around the line of scrimmage. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Ducks just coming downhill. Once again, it's the initial penetration. You've seen it over and over from a fresh leg defensive line group that's allowing the second and third level to clean up. You got to win your one-on-ones. You're not going to win them inside versus those numbers. You got to win the one-on-ones outside.
Monster throwing it outside here. And they'll say it's caught at the 46. Just hauled in by Hawkins.
And these receivers are making some phenomenal plays for the backup quarterback. And this is what can happen. And the ball can hit the ground. Does he control? That will be the question. But it's been just about everybody that's gotten involved, elevating their play and just saying to Monster, give me a chance.
3rd down and 4. This crowd comes to life again. They need 4 yards. Monster takes it, runs. This time he slides forward and gets the first to the 45 of Oregon. Baldwin, a former quarterback himself at Central Washington in the early 90s. And now a little reverse. Remigio wants to throw it. Whoa, trying to go back for Monster, and that was dangerous.
He had him early, but penetration once again.
Offense, number 85. 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
I think that's going to be a hold on Tonjes, but it was just that initial penetration. Tonjes' whole crew is just holding on for dear life at times on that offensive line. And I like that call. You make this call because of all of that penetration, of all of that activity. But when it is 4 or 5 yards in your backfield, you could see the hold right there, the block and the push in the back. Monster's open, and there's just too much penetration to get him the ball.
So now 1st and 20 with 9.5 to go in the 4th. Pocket collapses, pass, intercepted by Guy off the deflection. A flag comes in at the end of the play, but the pick will stand for the Ducks.
There are fouls by both teams. Both will be enforced. After the interception, holding intercepting team number 4, a 10-yard penalty. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, passing team number 72 is first of the game. Both penalties will be enforced. First down.
So Oregon football, after the senior Dye picks it. And the Ducks, clinging to a 10-7 lead, get a big-time takeaway. Troy Dye, first interception of the year, 4th of his career, and Oregon gets the ball back near midfield. Herbert swings it out to Dye. That's the brother of the man who just had the interception, and he's hit behind the line by Bynum.
And Bynum's been a monster. Javon Holland on the other side has been a monster. This is all study and preparation. They watch more tape than anybody, and a lot of NFL tape at that, and that's having the awareness in the eyes of everything going on around you to jump that route, to jump that play, and this defense once again showing up.
Boy, that Bynum, they said you'll be impressed with him. He was good last week, even though they lost, and good here again tonight.
Well, Oregon better hurry.
Yeah, that play clock down at 4-3. They get it off. Herbert escapes the pocket. He can run pretty well. First down and more. How about Justin Herbert and a flag at the end for a late hit? I think they're going to tag Ashton Davis and put 15 more on the end of this. As 72 people help Justin Herbert to his feet.
He's got to do more of this. As the season goes on, he is just too dangerous a weapon. Excellent coverage down the field. An offensive line gives Herbert the crease, and then you see the speed. He's going to run 4.6 at the combine.
Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
And that's what I call. If you're Ashton there and the QB is giving himself up and he is running towards that sideline, you're going to draw the 15-yard penalty every single time. And Herbert running square into the truck.
And you noted this earlier, but Marcus Arroyo said, look, he's an expensive racehorse. We don't want to run him much, but that was just Herbert making a play.
No, and Davis is making a play, right? He's trying to fight, and he's trying to punch, and he's trying to make a play, knowing they got to create a takeaway.
So up the middle goes Habibi Likio, and he just gets tripped up. He was an eyelash from his second touchdown of the night, but Jalen Hawkins saved the touchdown.
And they'll be right back on the ball, running it right between the tackles again.
That's exactly what they do. But they're able to stop Habibi Likio inside the one.
Because you can see the guys, they're all the same numbers. For Oregon, you're having to look at your board right there. Nearly every series defensively, and not for the Bears. And some of that's why they've been outscored in this fourth quarter by 27 points this season.
This time they go outside, wide open, Jalen Red. Touchdown, Oregon.
Well, this is well designed, well conceived, the short motion. You fake the jet sweep action. Look at all the eyes of those Bears defenders. Don't even need the blockers out front. That's well called. That's called by Marcus Arroyo, the offensive coordinator tonight. Kept that one in his back pocket down in the red zone until he needed it.
And Justin Herbert extends his streak, 33 straight games now with a touchdown pass, longest in the nation. And it gives the Ducks a 17-7 lead. And for Jalen Red, that wide receiver has now scored in 4 straight games. And this is a big one to put the Ducks up 10 time. And passing yardage in Oregon history for a quarterback. And it's some pretty good company around him.
And the only guy he's looking up to is the guy that a lot of people compare him to. From demeanor standpoint, just a quality human being. A guy that everybody depends on, Marcus Mariota. Probably not going to catch Marcus this year, statistically speaking. He may find himself a starter in the NFL like Marcus is, and 2 guys so productive to build around.
And now Cal has a hill to climb. They'll try to start with a return. Trying to leap over the top. Not a good decision by Hawkins. All right, let's take a look now at today's All-State Mayhem moment. We go back to the interception.
Yeah, and this is all man-to-man coverage. And Javon Holland set up the punt with his punt return, set up the first touchdown. And you're going to see him just in a man-to-man situation. Perfect coverage. He's right on it. And it's that tip ball that allows Dye to make the play and ultimately really change the outcome of this game. Holland's a special player. He had to pick earlier on the Hail Mary. Dye knows it. He was the beneficiary of Javon Holland once again, and that is that team's speed. I mean, it is everywhere. When you're in this booth watching these guys over the course of 60 minutes, they play as fast defensively. You felt it against Auburn in game 1. They were not out. He was sped in that game. They could keep up with Auburn, and man, in this building with this noise, I think they play even faster on that side.
We're going to have a whistle and a stop here before
Timeout,
the drive
Oregon.
starts.
They're first of the half.
Yeah, that Auburn loss obviously very disappointing for Mario Cristobal, led by 15, loss at the end. But they said, look, at the end of that game, we were able to look each other in the eye and say, you know what, we're a pretty good football team.
Well, they didn't trail until the final 4 seconds. I mean, they had that game in so many multiple ways. If they could have just finished in the red zone, right? If they could have finished with some of the details, which were really the coaching points over the bye week, over the last couple weeks, they didn't manifest themselves in the first 30 few weeks. And then ultimately at the top of the pecking order are so many elite teams. The Georgias, Ohio States, Oklahomas, Alabamas. Going to be very difficult, I think, to imagine that just even conference strength-wise, there's going to be enough quality wins to really ratchet up as well.
7 lead. Let's take a look. They're peaking at the end of this return if Hawkins lost the ball. Yeah, he just pitches it forward.
Well, after he's down for about 4 seconds.
I was going to say.
Let's go. Come on.
Battled back here after being down
After
7-0.
review, the ruling on the field of the runner down prior to fumbling is confirmed. The replay process was started prior to Oregon calling timeout. Therefore, Oregon is not charged a timeout. First down.
Monster 50%, 12 of 24, 145 yards. Oregon only rushes 3. Monster tried to hit it toward the sideline, but out of bounds, incomplete. Just his 3rd season, and then a second-year head coach on the other side in Mario Cristobal. That pass well behind Nico Remigio. 3rd down and 10.
Those are the throws you got to hit, because 3rd and 10, just listen to this place once again.
Yeah. So what does Monster go with here, 3rd and 10?
He's got to try to find a window of opportunity, more than likely against 8 defenders dropping into every zone.
Well, pressure coming. And now he's going to take off. He's got a lot of room. First down. Ooh, and maybe some helmet-to-helmet contact. No flag there at the end as the hit was laid by Verone McKinley.
Yeah, he's a runner. I think he's initiating that. I'm surprised they went and brought 5 here. I think I drop 8 and make him process in the pocket into tight windows. Instead, you bring 5, you create a lane, and really it was Monster that initiates that contact.
Yeah, you're exactly right. But it was helmet-to-helmet with McKinley. And Cumberlander, the senior, on the defensive line, he is down right now. Mentioned the reigning Pac-12 Defensive Lineman of the Week. Before the open week, had a great game against Stanford, but he's in some pain.
Yeah, you're going to see him trying to rush here. And it looks like that left knee just buckles underneath him. Unfortunate for a guy that has put in so much time and work for Cumberlander. One of those guys that was a developmental guy, not a 5-star, not a 4-star, but a developmental guy. And yes, replay is looking at this helmet-to-helmet contact.
Yeah, because remember, the offensive player can initiate that as well and be called for the penalty. As Cumberlander's down, but Brock, you had a great point. Surprised that they did bring 5 because that allowed Monster all that running room.
Yeah, but the linebacker that was associated with him in that man-to-man coverage also lost his space. That's freeing up that green grass and that opportunity for Monster. See, I think Monster also loses his feet there as a runner.
Previous play is under review for a potential targeting foul.
Yeah, it's a really interesting play. I would agree. It looked like Monster lost his footing, and he starts to go forward. His head drops, and then you're going to see McKinley drop his head. And it's almost as if the two of them just collide. You're looking for an indicator. You know, is one player targeting the other player? Is he leading with the head to attack? To me, I feel like this is more of just a collision because of the circumstance, and I don't believe they can put targeting on either player here.
Yeah, this is one of those plays that just feels like in the act of playing football. Monster, you can see his 2 feet kind of hit each other, forces really him to fall awkwardly. And it's difficult, I think, for those DBs at times as well with a quarterback. You've already seen Monster slide a number of times. Right, obviously did not give himself up, but that thing happened so fast.
Really
unfortunate for Gus Cumberlander.
Yeah, they put the cast on the left leg.
There is no targeting foul on the play. First down.
So that's what we thought. But again, unfortunate for Gus Cumberlander. You hate to see that for anybody, especially a redshirt senior who has been around this program so long.
He just plays his tail off.
And a warm round of applause as he's carted off the field. Kid from Ellenwood, Georgia, fell in love with Oregon on his visit. And now headed to the locker room here.
And you're talking about some of the very best people looking after Gus, looking after these players, from treatment to rehab to the medical staff, some of the very best in college football.
Cal offense back to work. Monster had the nice run last time, and again here, just trying to throw it to the sideline, but it's going to be incomplete. Clark actually hauled it in, but he was out of bounds. A defense by Lenoir.
It is so intimidating when you're a quarterback and you drop back and you feel the pocket and just the activity of these guys up front, but more importantly, the Lenoirs of the world, Thomas Grahams of the world, the Javon Hollands. It just feels like everything is covered. The windows are so small, and then throw in the deafening noise on top of it.
5 straight incompletions for Monster. Here's more pressure. Taken down at the 30. Isaac Slade, Madutia coming in and getting the job done.
And you just see the fresh legs. This is the benefit of playing a lot of people. Christopher Brown's there to block him. And what an effort by Dye. His buddy, his counterpart right there in the middle. You've seen it on the takeaways. You've seen it on a bunch of these run plays. Help your buddy out and go finish the deal.
Madutia from Hawaii, St. Louis High School, same as Marcus Mariota. And now a 3rd and 19. And that's caught at the 45, and Clark is able to stay in bounds, get by Lenoir, and pick up a gigantic first down, a gain of 21.
That's a tough throw now. That is a deep out, 15 yards deep. That's an excellent route. You can see the very soft cushion. That's about as soft a cushion as you've seen from Lenoir all night long. And what an enormous conversion.
Keeping Cal's hopes alive. That pass batted down as Madutia, who got a hand on him. Justin Wilcox, the kid from right here in Eugene, went to Junction City High School, 16 miles north of Autzen Stadium. And his crew try to work from behind.
They empty it out again. There's the matchup you like.
Oregon rushes 4. They try to go back to Clark. And they will say that's a catch with his back on the ground.
Yep, knees down before the body goes out. One knee worth 2 feet. That's even good in the NFL.
Good catch for the junior, first year at Cal. JUCO transfer. Monster lobbing it up. No. Towards his roommate Jeremiah Hawkins, but he was blanketed by Javon Holland. We've got a flag down.
Roughing the passer, defense number 32. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That is a costly one on Lamar Winston.
The juices are flowing if you're Lamar. You've not really gotten home. You're in this rotation defensively, and you got your hands on the quarterback right here. Right, you finally get home. You have an excellent rush. You get home. You get your hands on the quarterback. You then just can't drive them into the ground. I think the finish of that tackle is what drew the 15.
Moves the ball up to the 29. Quick throw. That's caught. Just hauling it in is Clark again. He's been the go-to guy. He now has 6 catches on the night.
Yeah, they're doing this without Kekoa Crawford, the Michigan transfer. Probably their best receiver as well. Again, talk about a thin margin and not a lot of bodies. But Trayvon stepped up over the last couple weeks, and he's continuing to move his game forward.
Second straight game that Crawford has missed. Indeed a factor, but they're moving the ball right now. 2nd and 3. Monster taken down. That's a move on. The redshirt sophomore getting in there.
Yeah, that's a miscommunication here. That's just a 3-man rush by Oregon. And we talked about the center a couple different times. You're going to see some communication error. The line not sliding cohesively here. I think Zindrick is expecting the true freshman to slide right into that defender. He does not. And another negative play created.
3rd sack for Oregon, and now they're going to go on the ground. And Brown gets it down around the 24. Greg Thomas, who tied his career long by hitting a 47-yarder last week against Arizona State. And he goes from 41 yards here. Missed earlier from 32. And a flag.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
So that backs it to 46. Missed it. The senior Greg Thomas 0 for 2 tonight.
Good snap. Good hold. Heavy run. Try to use that clock and lean into your 4 seniors up front.
Here we go. On the ground indeed. And for Cal, they've got to be thinking, geez, if we had hit that 2 field goals, this is a 17-13 game.
That's right.
So Cal's going to take one of their 3 timeouts right here. Clutch delivery as we go back to Justin Herbert extending that touchdown streak to 33 straight games.
The guy named after Justin Wilcox is Justin Herbert. Pretty remarkable stretch here. His 33rd start as an Oregon Duck. He climbs to number 2 on the all-time passing yardage list, things he doesn't really care about. I think he cares about throwing touchdowns because that helps win games. And that, as you said, the 33rd consecutive game with a touchdown pass.
Visiting it with him yesterday. What a humble, nice kid Justin Herbert is. Pittman in motion. They'll keep it on the ground with Habibi Likio.
Yeah, there really is a lot of Marcus Mariota. Having called games in this building, covering Marcus, sitting down with Marcus is very similar to Justin. They don't think they're better than anybody else. They treat their teammates with just so much respect. And this was a tough night for Herbert at times. You knew it coming in. Cal's a really good defense. There are not many windows that are wide open. Most of these throws, as you see, have a lot of velocity on them. They're fit between 2, 3, 4 different defenders. And this was about the only breather of the night. That was the maybe lone wide open duck at the most opportune of times. But I'll guarantee you this, in 4 or 5 months, come March or April, you will hear the same things said about Herbert that were said about Marcus before the draft, and that is, wow, he's just such a really nice guy. Right? He doesn't come into a room. He's not Baker Mayfield. He doesn't overwhelm it with his personality. He is just a genuinely good person, a grounded person, and his teammates and his program sure loves him.
Still babyface told us, I can't grow facial hair. Never have been able to. Well, 3rd and 4 here as Cal tries to keep the game alive. Little screen, and it works. Wait, a flag is coming in. Pittman has a 1st down for the moment.
Personal foul. Blindside block. Offense number 75. Half the distance to the goal. Correction. 15-yard penalty. We play 3rd down.
Yeah, that's a big right guard, Dallas Warmack. We saw this early this year in one of our early games, actually the Minnesota-South Dakota State. And you're going to see the hit right here on Weaver. Weaver is blinded to that play. Right? And there's part of me that says, hold on just a second. This is a football play. This is a guy that's got to read and react. And you're asking a 330-pound offensive lineman to decipher whether the player's defenseless or not, or is blinded to that play. But they are going to err on this side of it. They have done that this season. And Evan Weaver defenseless to that rule. That is the right call at the right time, but a big 15-yarder against Warmack.
It is big. Keeps California in the game. A little light at the end of the tunnel.
That's good in football the last 30 years. But that rule was put in place to try to eliminate some of those just massive blindside contact hits.
Snap comes at 1, and they'll hand it off to Travis Dye. And Dye goes out of bounds, so 4th down coming up.
Did you hear his teammates yelling at him?
Yeah.
You could hear our field mics down there yell. That's some of those veteran senior linemen saying, don't step out. They are screaming it to him in that moment. But unfortunately, the inexperienced Dye is running full speed towards that boundary. You can see the reaction of the running back right there, and I think that's some of the conversation Justin is having. Let's see whether or not Dye is... Wow.
I mean, not sure, but yeah, Justin Wilcox, they said, is charged with his final timeout. And that could loom large. Low punt, Remigio, flag comes in as he spins forward across the 40.
Another Duck defender down, unfortunately. I think that is Dawood Davis that is down for the Ducks.
During the return, illegal block in the back, receiving team number 3. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Yeah, so whenever you have a runner that goes out of bounds outside 2 minutes, you're going to stop the clock initially, and then you're going to wind on the ready for play. Once we get inside 2 minutes, that's when the clock will stop and you'll go on the next snap.
Okay.
Cal hasn't scored since that first quarter TD. Monster pressure from the backside, and he's taken down by Diamador Lenore. Or no, that was Thibodeau again, his second time getting in there.
And there you just see some of the bend and the speed. There you see the 5-star with 54 sacks between two different high schools in the biggest impact he's made yet as a freshman tonight.
Turned down Alabama to come here amongst a slew of others. And a short pass over the middle, and that time it's Slade Matutia with a stop.
But once again, it's Thibodeau that's not playing 50 snaps. Right, and just in stark contrast between these two sides, he's able to come in, he's hungry, he's incentivized, he's fresh. And man, has he made his mark tonight as well.
3rd and 16, it's desperation time. That ball is complete, but still well shy of the line to gain. Remigio catching it at the 29, and 4th down at 5 coming up. 4th and 4 where they mark him. Final shot for the Bears. Incomplete. And Oregon's going to win this football game and make it 10 wins and 11 tries against Cal.
One of the hardest we've seen in a long time. Throw and catch, you can make. And I think both quarterback and receiver know it, unfortunately. A couple missed field goals tonight. A huge difference as well. And give Justin Wilcox an immense amount of credit. He had his guys ready to play. That streak of 25 or less points, it continues in this building, even against this opponent. Cal will be in every game this year. They're too tough. They're too well coached. In Oregon, good luck against Mario's defense in this place. They are fast.
Boy, they are fast, and they are good, and they showed it again tonight.